as well. This is CBC Radio 1 on the island at 90.5 FM in Victoria. Well, peace has broken out in the Highlands. The incumbent mayor and councillors in the district have been re-elected by acclamation. This is in a community that used to have huge voter turnouts and acrimonious election campaigns where you kept your head up and elbows high. So what's happened? Well, to get the long-term perspective, we're joined this morning by Bob McMinn, who was Highland's very first mayor, elected in 1993. Bob McMinn, good morning to you.
Morning.
If I have my facts correct, that 1993 election also saw mayor and council acclaimed. Is that right?
That's correct, yes.
What happened back then?
Well, we had spent 4 years, or almost 4 years, on the Incorporation Study Committee to demonstrate whether or not we could be a viable municipality on our own. And the study outcome showed that we could be viable, and that I think the popular feeling amongst Highlanders was that we should in fact be our own separate municipality. Up to that point we had been part of the Langford electoral area, which encompassed the Langford proper and the Highlands, and the Highlands felt that our destiny was much more as a rural area, not as a growth area, and so we had strived hard to maintain a separate identity. And when the vote came on incorporation, it was 70% in favour of incorporation, but 80% in favour of the Highlands being a separate municipality.
All right, and so you became a separate municipality. You, as mayor, were acclaimed and council acclaimed back in 1993. But there followed a period when municipal elections in the Highlands were quite acrimonious, with voter turnouts in the 70 and 80% range. What was dividing the community for those elections?
Well, the ostensible reason was that a faction or a portion of the community said we were not viable financially. We were not rich, but we were still viable. But it was felt that the developer could help us become more viable by having more development. And many of us felt that that particular development was not desirable from our point of view.
This is Bear Mountain?
That's Bear Mountain.
And so this was what caused a great debate within the Highlands electorate, was whether to essentially hitch your wagons to Bear Mountain or not?
That's correct, that they would be our financial salvation. Well, of course, as we all know, Bear Mountain had some problems since then, and probably wouldn't have been our salvation anyhow. But our financial viability is now probably better than many or most small municipalities. Something like a rule of thumb is that you should have 25% of your budget as a cash reserve. We have something like 50% of our budget, of the annual budget, as a cash reserve. So I think we're in good financial shape. And the fact that over the past 14 years, we have had very, very modest tax increases, and those tax increases have largely been the result of increases from other governments, such as school taxes or CRD. We have kept our own tax increases to essentially zero. There have been larger amounts of money brought in each year, which have kept pace with inflation, but essentially we can say we're in fine shape financially. And I think that the residents of the Highlands, by and large, agree that our future should be remain rural, that we shouldn't, in fact, have a lot of subdivision increase. And so it would seem that everybody is more or less on the same song sheet now.
And you think it's that, do you, rather than just electoral burnout or some other factor at play?
No, I think it's contentment. At least that's the feeling I have. We were wondering whether there would be an election, and no candidates to oppose the present slate came forward. there was nothing in the way of rumors about this, and so on. At the time of the closing of the nominations, we found this was in fact true, that nobody came forward. Now, I would say that this is an unhealthy situation if you were living in Syria, for instance, where nobody dare run again against the party in power. But the current council is not a party in power. It's just a group of people trying to do their best for the community, and I think that the community has recognized that through their efforts and through the efforts of past councils, we're in quite adequate shape.
So you argue that it reflects the contentment within the Highlands right now. Is there a risk in the future that complacency, or it could turn into complacency and become problematic for the community in the future?
No, I don't think so. I think that, well, put it this way, that if there is satisfaction with the way things are going, then I don't think we will see great contests in the near future. On the other hand, if the boat gets rocked in some way, then perhaps we will.
Well, Bob McMinn, it's good to get your historical take on things this morning. Thank you for joining me.
Very welcome.
Bob McMinn was elected by acclamation as the District of Highlands' first mayor in 1993. Fast forward to 2011, and the current mayor and council are returning to office unopposed. Peace breaks out in the Highlands. Maybe it's something to do with the planets.